Stop reacting to everything. Stop letting emotions pull you like a puppet on strings. The world wants your reaction. It feeds on it. But your power lies in restraint. Your control begins the moment you stop needing to respond. Detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. When you detach, you stop being controlled. You stop being manipulated. You stop being weak. This audiobook is not about becoming emotionless. It's about mastering yourself so deeply that nothing outside of you can dictate how you feel, think, or act again. Chapter 1. Stop reacting. Start observing. Listen carefully. The moment you react, you lose control. The moment you observe, you gain it. That's the first law of emotional detachment. It sounds simple, but it will change your life if you actually live it. Every day, the world gives you reasons to react. Someone cuts you off. Someone insults you. Someone doesn't text you back. You feel the impulse to prove something, to defend yourself, to fire back. But when you react, you hand over your power. You give your peace away in exchange for a few seconds of emotional release. You think reacting will make you feel better, but it doesn't. It makes you weaker. It makes you predictable. And predictable people are easy to control. I want you to understand this. Your reaction is their control. When you stop reacting, you stop being controlled. That's the foundation of emotional mastery. You have a choice every single time you feel triggered. You can react out of emotion, or you can observe with awareness. The difference is everything. Observation gives you space. It gives you time. It gives you power. Reacting collapses your thinking. It shuts down your reason. But observing keeps you awake. It keeps you conscious. It keeps you in command. When you observe, you don't deny your emotions. You recognize them without obeying them. You say, I feel anger. I feel frustration, but I don't have to act on it. That's strength. That's discipline. That's freedom. Repeat it with me. Observe, don't react. Say it again. Observe, don't react. That's your new operating system. Let's take a real example. You're in an argument. The other person raises their voice, says something disrespectful. Your chest tightens. Your mind floods with comebacks. You want to win. You want to strike back. But in that moment, stop. Don't give them what they want. Don't feed the fire. When you pause, you shift the dynamic instantly. They expect chaos. You give them calm. They expect noise. You give them silence. That silence unsettles people. It exposes their lack of control. Because in truth, the one who remains calm always holds the higher ground. That's why silence and observation are not weakness, they're dominance in disguise. You have to train your instinct to pause. It won't happen overnight, but every time you choose to observe instead of react, you're rewiring your mind. You're teaching yourself emotional control. When someone tries to provoke you, think of it like a test. They want a piece of your energy. They want access to your emotions. Don't give it to them. Smile internally. Stay quiet externally. Observe their behavior like a scientist watching an experiment. You'll start to notice something powerful. Most people are ruled by emotion. They live at the mercy of whatever stimulus hits them next. They don't think, they just react. But you're learning to step outside the chaos. You're learning to watch, not flinch. That's the key. That's what separates strength from weakness, clarity from confusion. Here's another truth. Reacting feels good in the moment. It gives you a quick hit of satisfaction, like scratching an itch, but it costs you clarity later. You win the impulse and lose the control. I don't want you to win the moment. I want you to win the war. And to win the war, you must stay composed while others lose their minds. Let them shout, let them gossip, let them get emotional. You stay still, you stay aware, you stay focused. Because the one who can't be provoked can't be controlled. Now understand this, observation is not passivity. You're not ignoring life, you're mastering it. You're not suppressing emotion, you're redirecting it. Observation gives you leverage. You see things others miss. You hear things others talk over. You read between the lines while they get lost in the noise. When you observe, you become dangerous, not because you're loud, but because you're precise. You move only when it matters. You speak only when it's powerful. You act only when it serves your purpose. That's the essence of control. That's the art of detachment. And let's talk about relationships. Most emotional pain comes from overreacting to things that don't deserve our attention. Someone pulls away, you panic. Someone ignores you, you chase. Someone disrespects you, you explode. You lose control not because of them, but because of you, because you're reacting instead of observing. When you start observing, everything changes. You stop personalizing everything. You stop assuming every action is about you. You stop needing to respond to prove your worth. Observation builds patience. Patience builds confidence. Confidence builds power. Remember this mantra: observe, don't react. Say it until it becomes automatic. Say it when you wake up. Say it before you reply. Say it when you feel triggered. Because every time you observe, you win twice. First, you protect your peace. Second, you see reality as it truly is, not as emotion distorts it. You begin to see who's trying to manipulate you, who's trying to control you, who's trying to drain you. And once you can see, you can choose. That's the real victory. You have to treat this like mental training. Each day, life will test your control. You'll be provoked by noise, drama, opinions, and pressure. Your job is not to react. Your job is to watch. Breathe once. Observe twice. Respond never, unless it's strategic. You are the observer, not the reactor, not the victim, the observer. Observation is strength. Reaction is weakness. Observation is awareness. Reaction is blindness. Observation is power. Reaction is surrender. This is how emotional detachment begins, not by cutting yourself off from life, but by watching life without letting it consume you. You stay centered while everything around you tries to pull you off balance. That's mastery. That's emotional dominance. Repeat it one last time. Observe, don't react. It's not just a phrase, it's a weapon. Use it. You mastered your reactions. You learned to pause, to breathe, to see instead of lash out. Now let's talk about the next level of control, your emotional energy. Because observation without energy discipline is incomplete. You stopped reacting, now it's time to stop wasting your power. Chapter 2. Emotional energy is currency. Stop spending it everywhere. Your energy is your currency. Every reaction, every argument, Every burst of emotion, it costs you. You're paying with attention, with focus, with peace. And most people are broke because they spend it on everything that doesn't matter. You think you're tired because of work. You think you're tired because of stress. You're not. You're tired because you leak emotional energy all day long. You give it to people who haven't earned it. You hand it out to situations that don't deserve it. And at the end of the day, you wonder why you feel drained, distracted, and done. Listen closely. Every reaction costs energy. Every restraint builds power. That's the law. That's the exchange rate of emotional control. If you react to everything, you stay broke. If you guard your energy, you grow rich. Rich in clarity, rich in control, rich in strength. I want you to imagine your emotional energy like a bank account. Every time you get angry, you make a withdrawal. Every time you get defensive, you make another. Every time you argue, explain, or obsess, you drain your balance a little more. And when it's empty, that's when you lose your discipline. That's when you start making emotional decisions instead of rational ones. You need to stop spending like an amateur. You need to become an investor of your energy. That means you choose where it goes, how it's used, and who gets access. Say it out loud. Save your energy. Guard your mind. That's your new mantra. Let's talk about people. Some people thrive on your reaction. They feed off your attention. They bait you, drain you, and leave you empty. And you keep falling for it because you think you have to respond. You don't. You don't owe everyone access to your emotions. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your peace. You have a choice. That's the key. Every time you hold back, you build strength. Every time you stay calm, you collect interest. Every time you choose silence over chaos, your balance grows. Save your energy. Guard your mind. Here's the truth. Emotional control is conservation. It's about managing where your attention goes. If something doesn't move you closer to your goals or your peace, it's not worth your energy. Stop fighting battles that don't change your life. Stop defending yourself to people who will never understand you. Stop explaining your vision to people who can't see it. Every unnecessary reaction pulls you off your path. It's not about looking strong. It's about staying steady. It's not about being liked. It's about being focused. It's not about proving anything. It's about protecting everything that matters. You don't need their permission to stay calm. You don't need their understanding to stay focused. You just need discipline, quiet, consistent discipline. Think of the times you've lost your temper, the times you argued with someone who wasn't even listening, the times you got caught up defending your worth to someone who couldn't see it. How did it end? You felt empty. You felt small. You felt drained. Because that's what emotional overspending does. It leaves you broke. You waste time, energy, and presence on things that add no value. And you start confusing activity with progress. But progress doesn't come from reaction. Progress comes from direction. It comes from putting your energy where it actually matters. Your growth, your work, your peace. Save your energy. Guard your mind. You have to start seeing energy as life itself. Every word you speak, every emotion you invest, every thought you entertain, it all costs something. So ask yourself, is this worth my energy?
Is this argument worth my focus? Is this resentment worth my peace? Most of the time, it's not. You're paying too much for too little. You're trading your stability for temporary satisfaction. That's a bad deal. Stop making it. From now on, treat your energy like a fortress. Not everyone gets in. Not every thought gets your attention. Not every emotion deserves a reaction. That's how you conserve power. That's how you build control. Now, let's talk about self-control as an energy strategy. When you resist the urge to react, you're not suppressing, you're directing. You're turning external chaos into internal power. It's like weight training for the mind. Each time you resist the reaction, you build emotional muscle. Each time you hold your peace, you strengthen your resilience. Each time you guard your focus, you reinforce your boundaries. That's the discipline that separates the stable from the scattered. That's the discipline that builds unstoppable mental toughness. Save your energy. Guard your mind. Don't mistake stillness for weakness. Stillness is strategic. When you stay calm, you can see clearly. You can plan, move, and respond with precision. But when you waste energy reacting, you can't think, you can't see, you can't lead. The strongest people don't show their emotions to everyone. They reserve them for purpose, not performance. They don't play every game. They choose their battles, and they win. Not because they fight more, but because they fight smarter. That's the key. Fight less, win more. React less, control more. Give less attention to noise and more to growth. Here's what I want you to start doing today. Start tracking your energy like money. Ask yourself, what drained me today? Who drained me today? Why did I allow it? Write it down. Study it. You'll begin to see a pattern. You spend most of your energy on the wrong things. Then flip it. Decide what deserves your energy, your health, your goals, your peace. Invest in those things daily. Everything else, cut it off. You don't need to be everywhere. You don't need to respond to everything. You don't need to explain yourself every time someone misunderstands you. That's wasted energy. Conserve it, protect it, build with it. Because when you guard your energy, you guard your life. Save your energy, guard your mind. That's not a slogan. That's survival in a world that profits off your distraction. Every time you engage in drama, you're giving away power. Every time you react emotionally, you're lowering your value. Stop letting people withdraw from you without depositing anything back. You are the banker of your mind. You decide who gets access. You decide how much you give. You decide what's worth your investment. The more selective you become, the stronger you get. The stronger you get, the calmer you become. And the calmer you become, the more unstoppable you are. That's how you build power. That's how you build peace. You learned how to stop reacting in Chapter 1. Now you've learned how to stop wasting energy in Chapter 2. You're calmer, more focused, and more intentional. But power isn't just about restraint. It's about direction. It's about where you place your emotion, not just where you withhold it.
Chapter 3. Detachment is not indifference. It's power under control. Let me make this clear right now. Detachment is not indifference. Detachment is not coldness. Detachment is not apathy. Detachment is power under control. When people hear the word detachment, they think it means you stop caring. They think it means you turn off your emotions, that you don't feel anything. That's not it. You will still feel. You will still care. You will still experience the full range of human emotion, but you won't be controlled by it. That's the key. You don't stop feeling, you stop being ruled by what you feel. You develop awareness without attachment. You can see the storm, but you don't have to fly into it. You can feel the turbulence, but you stay steady at the controls. That's the essence of emotional detachment. It's clarity, it's composure, it's strength wrapped in stillness. Say this with me. I feel it, I see it, I don't become it. Again, I feel it, I see it, I don't become it. That's your compass. That's your power. Imagine a pilot flying through turbulence. Winds are shaking the plane, alarms are flashing, passengers are panicking. But the pilot doesn't react to the noise. He doesn't scream or slam buttons in fear. He stays focused on his instruments, his training, his purpose. He feels the turbulence, but he's not consumed by it. That's you. That's emotional detachment. You're not pretending the chaos isn't there. You're simply refusing to lose control because of it. That's the difference between indifference and mastery. Indifference disconnects you from life. Detachment connects you to it, but from a higher perspective. You're watching from above instead of drowning below. That's power. That's presence. Here's the truth. Most people confuse emotional reaction with emotional honesty. They think being loud, explosive, or dramatic is being real. But real strength is quiet. Real power is contained. You don't need to show every emotion to feel it. You don't need to express every impulse to prove you're alive. You have nothing to prove. You have everything to preserve. When you're detached, you feel the emotion, but you don't become it. You see anger, but you don't act out in rage. You feel disappointment, but you don't spiral into hopelessness. You experience pain, but you don't identify as broken. That's not suppression. That's control. That's discipline. And that's the kind of power most people never develop because they're addicted to reaction. You have a choice every single time life hits you with emotion. You can drown in it, or you can direct it. You can be reactive, or you can be responsive. You can act out of emotion, or you can act out of intention. That's the key. You don't need to be emotionless. You need to be in charge. Emotion is not the enemy. It's a signal. It's information. But if you obey every signal without thought, you become its slave. You chase validation when you feel insecure. You lash out when you feel disrespected. You quit when you feel afraid. But when you're detached, you see the signal and you decide how to respond. You say, I feel it, I see it, I don't become it. That's the voice of mastery. Let's break it down. A detached person doesn't chase people. They don't beg for understanding. They don't need everyone to agree with them. Why? Because they're anchored internally, not externally. They understand this. Emotional detachment is self-respect. It's saying, my peace is not up for negotiation. When someone leaves, you let them go. When someone disrespects you, you walk away. When something doesn't align with your peace, you don't force it. You're not indifferent, you still care, but you care about your control more than their chaos. You value your clarity more than their approval. You prioritize your peace over their attention. That's strength. That's maturity. That's detachment. Listen, you don't owe your emotions to everyone. You don't need to show every reaction every time. Because every time you show emotion where it's not deserved, you devalue it. You cheapen your power by scattering it everywhere. Save it. Direct it. Let your energy serve your purpose, not your impulses. Let your calm speak for you. People will call you cold. They'll call you distant. They'll call you detached. Good. Let them. They don't understand that silence is not coldness, it's strategy. They don't understand that calm is not weakness, it's wisdom. They don't understand that restraint is not repression, it's strength. You don't need their permission to be composed. You don't need their understanding to stay in control. Say it again. I feel it, I see it, I don't become it. Now, let's get practical. How do you train detachment daily? First, create space between emotion and action. When you feel something strong, stop. Pause for 5 seconds. Observe what's happening inside you before doing anything outside you. That space is your control. Second, stop labeling emotions as good or bad. They're just signals. Anger means a boundary is being tested. Sadness means something needs closure. Fear means you're stepping into growth. See it, feel it, learn from it. Then let it pass. Third, build routines that anchor you. Stillness, solitude, self-reflection. Detach from constant noise, social media, gossip, distraction. The less noise you consume, the clearer your mind becomes. And a clear mind doesn't get attached to nonsense. Detachment is not disconnecting from the world. It's connecting to it differently, from a place of calm, not chaos. You can still love deeply. You can still care fiercely. But you do it without losing yourself. That's the discipline. That's the mastery. When you love from detachment, you're not needy. When you care from detachment, you're not drained. When you give from detachment, you're not resentful. You stop chasing outcomes and start embracing clarity. You stop trying to control everything outside you and start mastering everything inside you. That's what it means to have power under control. So the next time emotion rises, breathe. Feel it. See it, but don't become it. Say it in your mind, slow and deliberate. I feel it. I see it. I don't become it. That's your mantra. That's your shield. That's your power. When you live this way, you stop fighting every wave. You rise above the storm. You become the calm in chaos. You stop being tossed by emotions and you start commanding them. You stop living from reaction and you start living from discipline. Because it's not about being numb, it's about being in charge. It's not about being detached from life, it's about being detached from what drains it. It's not about indifference, it's about awareness with control. That's the art of emotional detachment. That's the skill that separates the powerful from the reactive. You learned how to control your energy. Now you've learned how to control your emotions without killing your humanity. But emotional mastery isn't complete without addressing your deepest weakness, your need for validation.
Chapter 4. The Trap of Validation. Stop performing for approval. Let's talk about one of the biggest traps that steals your emotional control.
the need for validation. Every time you seek approval, you hand over your power. Every time you chase recognition, you give someone else control over how you feel. Every time you perform just to be seen, you forget who you are when no one's watching. You've been trained to believe that validation equals value, that being liked equals being worthy, that being seen equals being successful. It's a lie. It's a lie that keeps you weak, distracted, and dependent. You don't need to be seen to be strong. You don't need to be liked to be powerful. You don't need applause to have impact. You have a choice. You can either live for their approval, or you can live for your purpose. You can perform for their attention, or you can build for your peace. You can chase validation, or you can claim mastery. That's the key. Emotional control begins where validation ends. Think about it. Look at the world around you. People aren't living, they're performing. Every post, every word, every move is filtered through one question: will they like me? But here's the truth. The more you seek validation, the less authentic you become. The more you chase attention, the more empty you feel when it fades. The more you depend on applause, the more terrified you become of silence. And silence is where your real strength grows. You have to learn to sit in that silence without needing anyone to clap for you. You have to learn to win privately without broadcasting every move. You have to learn to validate yourself, internally, quietly, relentlessly. You don't need their permission to be proud of yourself. You don't need their recognition to know you're improving. You don't need their attention to know you're on the right path. That's the difference between someone who's grounded and someone who's lost. The grounded person says, "I know who I am." The lost person says, "Tell me who I am." I want you to understand something deep. Validation addiction is emotional slavery. It means your peace depends on the unpredictable behavior of others. It means your worth depends on someone else's mood. It means you've outsourced your self-respect. That's dangerous, because when people can give you validation, they can take it away. And when they take it away, your whole identity collapses. You can't afford that. You can't afford to be emotionally broke because someone unfollowed you, ignored you, or disagreed with you. That's not strength, that's dependence. It's not about needing to be liked, it's about being centered. It's not about being seen, it's about being secure. It's not about attention, it's about alignment. You have to stop performing and start becoming, because performance fades, but becoming, that's permanent. Let me give you a real example. Imagine two people go to the gym. One trains for attention. They film every rep, every flex, every mirror glance. The other trains in silence. They show up, put in work, and leave. One is addicted to being seen. The other is addicted to self-mastery. Now ask yourself this: which one becomes unshakable when no one's watching? Which one will keep going when the camera's off, when the likes stop, when no one notices? It's the second one, the quiet grinder. Because their validation doesn't come from the outside, it comes from the discipline itself. It comes from knowing they did the work. You don't need to be seen to be strong. You need to be consistent, you need to be clear, you need to be self-validated. That's how real emotional control is built, in private. While others chase applause, you chase alignment. While others crave attention, you crave mastery. While others perform, you prepare. Now let's make this practical. Here's how you break free from the trap of validation. Step 1. Stop explaining yourself. Every time you justify your decisions to people who don't understand your vision, you waste energy. You don't owe anyone an explanation for prioritizing your peace. You don't need their permission to protect your time. Step 2. Practice doing things in silence. Go a week without announcing what you're working on. Keep your goals to yourself. Feel the discomfort of not being seen, and then let it strengthen you. You'll realize how much energy you've wasted trying to impress. Step 3. Redefine validation. Validation is not someone clapping for you. Validation is the quiet pride that comes from keeping promises to yourself. It's the satisfaction of discipline. It's the respect you build by doing hard things without witnesses. That's self-validation. That's real confidence. Let's be honest. Most people are addicted to validation because they fear being invisible. They equate visibility with importance. But listen carefully. Visibility is not value. Just because people see you doesn't mean you matter. Just because you're loud doesn't mean you're powerful. Just because you're noticed doesn't mean you're respected. Some of the strongest people on earth are invisible to the crowd, but unstoppable in their purpose. They don't post it, they live it. They don't need followers, they follow through. That's the mindset you need. That's emotional freedom. You have a choice. You can be the person who constantly needs the world to remind them they're good enough. Or you can be the person who reminds themselves every single morning, I'm good enough because I keep showing up. That's the discipline. That's the power. That's the shift. Now repeat this to yourself, slowly with conviction. You don't need to be seen to be strong. You don't need to be seen to be strong. You don't need to be seen to be strong. Feel the truth of that, because once you believe it, you're free. Free from performing, free from approval, free from insecurity. You'll still do your best work, but now it'll be for you, not for them. You'll still chase excellence, but from peace, not from fear. You'll still care about impact, but you won't need applause. That's what quiet confidence looks like. It doesn't shout, it doesn't beg, it doesn't prove. It simply moves with certainty, with calm, with focus. So stop performing for approval. Start building for truth. Start validating yourself through discipline. Start living by your own standard, not theirs. Because that's where emotional detachment becomes emotional dominance. That's where peace stops being an idea and starts being your identity. You've learned that validation is a trap. You've learned how to pull your worth back from the hands of others. Now it's time to reinforce that strength by mastering what you give your focus to. You stop chasing approval. Next, you'll stop scattering your attention.
Chapter 5. Silence is a weapon. Use it intentionally. Power doesn't always speak. Sometimes it stays silent. Sometimes it watches. Sometimes it waits. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not passivity. Silence is a weapon if you know how to use it. Power often comes from what you don't say. In a world that's addicted to reaction, silence is your advantage. In a culture that rewards noise, silence is your edge. While others waste energy trying to be heard, you conserve energy by choosing when to speak. That's control. That's composure. That's mastery. Silence speaks louder than emotion. Say it again. Silence speaks louder than emotion. Think about it. In arguments, the loudest voice rarely wins. The calmest one does. In conflict, the one who listens longer usually holds the most control.
When everyone else loses composure, the silent one commands respect. That's not luck, that's discipline. You don't always need to respond. You don't always need to prove your point. You don't always need to correct them. Because when you speak out of emotion, you lose power. But when you withhold words strategically, you gain it. That's the key. It's not about talking more, it's about talking less but sharper. It's not about showing emotion, it's about controlling expression. You have a choice. You can feed the noise, or you can control the room through presence. And presence, real presence, is quiet. Let me tell you this, silence makes people uncomfortable, and that's why it works. When you pause, they scramble to fill the void. When you don't react, they question themselves. When you stay still, their chaos echoes louder. That's why silence is power. It forces reflection. It turns your restraint into influence. It turns your patience into dominance. In an argument, your silence says, "I don't need to fight to prove my point." In a negotiation, it says, "I'm not desperate for your deal." In leadership, it says, "I see everything. I move only when necessary." That's how you command respect without demanding it. Because silence is not the absence of power, it's the containment of it. Listen carefully. Most people speak to fill their insecurity. They talk too much because silence forces them to confront themselves. They ramble because they fear being misunderstood. They over-explain because they crave validation. But when you grow, when you mature, when you become emotionally detached, you stop oversharing. You stop explaining yourself to everyone. You stop filling silence just to feel accepted. You don't need their understanding. You don't need their reaction. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Because it's not about being heard, it's about being grounded. It's not about being loud, it's about being certain. It's not about attention, it's about control. That's what silence gives you, control. Here's what I want you to remember. Silence is not doing nothing. Silence is doing something powerful, observing. When you're silent, you see patterns. You notice who's lying and who's genuine. You see manipulation before it takes hold. You catch emotional triggers before they pull you in. That's why silence is your protection. Because when you're quiet, you can't be provoked. When you're quiet, you can't be misquoted. When you're quiet, you can't be manipulated. Silence keeps your power contained, and contained power is controlled power. Real power doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need to. It's not performative. It's not reactive. It's deliberate. When a strong person stays silent, it's not because they're weak. It's because they're assessing. They're calculating. They're choosing their timing. You can always tell who's truly in control in a room. It's not the one talking the most. It's the one saying the least. Because that person doesn't need to dominate the space with words. They dominate with presence. That's the discipline. That's emotional control in action. Let's get practical now. How do you use silence as a weapon? Step 1. Pause before reacting. When someone insults you, attacks you, or tries to provoke you, don't respond instantly. Let silence do the work. Watch how quickly their power fades when they realize they can't control your reaction. Remember, you don't owe them an emotional response. Step 2. Use silence in conflict. Instead of escalating an argument, go quiet. Silence forces the other person to confront their own words. It shifts the dynamic instantly. They move from aggression to uncertainty. You move from defensiveness to dominance. Step 3. Use silence to listen strategically. The more you listen, the more information you gain. The more you observe, the smarter your next move becomes.
Let them reveal themselves, their motives, fears, and weaknesses, while you conserve your energy. That's power through patience. Let's talk leadership for a second. The best leaders aren't the loudest. They're the most composed. They know when to speak and when not to. A real leader doesn't react to every challenge. They assess, they observe, they decide when to intervene. And when they finally speak, people listen, because they've learned something most people never do. Words lose value when they're used carelessly, but silence builds weight. When you speak less, every word counts more. When you stay quiet longer, your eventual response carries gravity. That's influence. That's authority. Now I want you to remember this mantra. Silence speaks louder than emotion. Silence speaks louder than emotion. Silence speaks louder than emotion. Because emotion makes you predictable, but silence makes you unreadable. Emotion drains your control. Silence recharges it. You don't need to prove your point in every conversation. You don't need to react to every comment. You don't need to defend your peace to people who thrive on chaos. You have a choice: waste energy reacting or build power observing. That's the discipline. Because silence is not emptiness. It's full of clarity, control, and confidence. It's not about being passive. It's about being prepared. That's how you turn silence into strength. So, from now on, practice it. In your arguments, pause. In your decisions, think. In your emotions, breathe. Use silence to slow everything down until your response is deliberate, not impulsive. Use silence to shift from reaction to reflection. Use silence to turn emotional chaos into strategic calm. Because silence is not absence, it's awareness. And awareness is power. Say it one more time. Silence speaks louder than emotion. Let that become your new default. When you live this way, you become unshakable. You stop overreacting. You stop oversharing. You stop overspending emotional energy. You speak less, mean more, and move with purpose. That's what emotional detachment looks like in action. You've learned to harness the strength of silence, to weaponize stillness and command respect through composure. Now it's time to take that control deeper, to the next level of internal mastery. You've learned not to react, not to seek validation, not to speak from emotion. Now you'll learn to command your mind itself.
Chapter 6. Train your pause. Master the space between trigger and response. Power doesn't live in your reaction. Power lives in your pause. That split second, that breath, that space between the trigger and your response, that's where your discipline is tested. That's where your real strength is revealed. Most people don't have a pause. They go straight from emotion to explosion, from trigger to reaction, from feeling to chaos. They think reacting fast is a sign of strength. It's not. It's a lack of control. Because when you react instantly, you give away your power. You hand the world your emotional steering wheel, and then you wonder why you keep crashing. I'll tell you why. You didn't pause. Every emotional decision should pass through one filter, the pause. That's the difference between emotional slaves and emotional masters, between people who get dragged by life and people who direct it. You want control? You want clarity? You want peace? Then you need to train your pause, because that's the key. That's the bridge between impulse and intelligence, between feeling and focus, between chaos and control.
You have a choice. You can react or you can pause. You can explode or you can breathe. Every time you pause, you win. Every pause is a victory. Let me tell you what the pause actually is. It's not inaction. It's not hesitation. It's not weakness. The pause is awareness in motion. It's the moment you take ownership of your emotions before they take ownership of you. The pause says, I feel it, I see it, but I don't become it. The pause says, I'm not my anger, I'm not my fear, I'm not my ego. The pause says, I choose what happens next. That's power. That's real control. Think about the last time you overreacted. You said something you didn't mean. You sent that message. You burned a bridge. You lost your composure. All because you skipped the pause. You felt something. You reacted instantly. And in that instant, you handed over your authority. That's what emotional immaturity looks like. And it's what most people never outgrow. But you're not most people. You're here because you want to rise above that. You want to train your mind to obey your command, not your emotions. That's what we're doing here. We're training the pause. Here's how you do it. Simple, direct, uncomfortable, effective. Step 1. Feel the trigger. Don't deny it. Don't suppress it. Feel the emotion hit. Name it. I'm angry. I'm anxious. I'm defensive. Call it out. That's awareness. Step 2. Breathe. Deep, slow, deliberate breath. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Let that breath be your signal. You are entering control mode. That's your bridge from reaction to decision. Step 3. Watch. Observe your thoughts. Don't judge them. Don't fight them. Just watch them like clouds passing by. This is where detachment meets discipline. Step 4. Then choose. Choose your next action with intention. Choose words that serve your goal, not your ego. Choose behavior that aligns with your strength, not your weakness. That's the practice. That's the training. That's the transformation. Say it with me. Wait, watch, then choose. Again, wait, watch, then choose. One more time. Wait, watch, then choose. Every repetition builds control. Every pause builds power. When you train this consistently, everything changes. Your relationships shift. Your energy stabilizes. Your focus sharpens. You stop reacting to everything that moves. You stop getting pulled into other people's storms. You stop fighting every battle that doesn't deserve your energy. Because you learn this truth. Not everything that demands your reaction deserves your reaction. That's wisdom. That's maturity. And that wisdom starts with the pause. You might say, but what if I lose the moment by waiting? You won't. You'll actually gain it. Because reacting fast doesn't make you decisive. It makes you reckless. True decisiveness comes from clarity, not chaos. And clarity only lives in the pause. It's in that breath that you see the full picture. It's in that silence that you hear your intuition again. It's in that stillness that you reclaim control. When you pause, you move from emotional reaction to intentional response, from impulse to awareness, from victim to leader. That's the shift. That's the key. Now let's make this real. Visualize this. You're in an argument. Someone says something disrespectful. Your blood heats up. Your mind floods with emotion. You want to fire back instantly, but instead you breathe. You pause. You wait. 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. And in that space, something shifts. You see their insecurity instead of your anger. You hear their projection instead of their power. You realize it's not about you. That's awareness. That's the pause doing its job. You just broke a lifetime of reactivity in 3 seconds of silence. That's what mastery feels like. Understand this. The pause is not a technique. It's a lifestyle. It's how you live when you've stopped letting your emotions run your life. It's how you operate when you've decided to lead from strength, not impulse. You don't let the world dictate your mood. You don't let people's tone dictate your day. You don't let emotions dictate your identity. You lead yourself. That's what training the pause does. It makes you your own leader. Because discipline begins where reactivity ends. And that line, that invisible boundary, is built one pause at a time. Every time you pause, you're building emotional muscle. Every time you delay your reaction, you strengthen your self-control. Every time you wait, watch, and then choose, you step closer to mastery. You don't need their permission to pause. You don't need validation to breathe before you speak. You don't need to explain your silence. Your composure is your message. Your restraint is your strength. Because power doesn't need to prove itself. Power just chooses. That's the essence of control. That's the heart of detachment. That's the discipline of the pause. You're not here to be impulsive anymore. You're here to be intentional. You're not here to react. You're here to respond. You're not here to be controlled by emotion. You're here to command it. Because the gap between trigger and response, that's where your freedom lives. That's where your peace begins. That's where your identity transforms. Every time you wait, every time you watch, every time you choose, you evolve. So remember, wait, watch, then choose. Every pause is a victory. Every pause is power. Train it until it becomes automatic. Because the moment you master the pause, you master yourself. You've learned to pause before you react, to own the space between the trigger and the response. Now it's time to control something even deeper, the space between your thoughts themselves. You have mastered your pause. Now, let's master your focus.
Chapter 7. Detach from outcomes. Focus on process. Everyone wants the result. Few want the discipline. Everyone dreams about winning. Few are willing to focus on the process long enough to deserve it. You say you want peace. You say you want mastery. Then stop chasing outcomes. Because attachment to results breeds anxiety. But detachment breeds mastery. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. They're addicted to control. They want guarantees. They want proof that the effort will pay off. But life doesn't reward obsession with control. It rewards consistency. It rewards process. It rewards those who show up, even when the result is uncertain. That's the key. That's what separates the strong from the restless. You have a choice. You can live for the outcome, or you can live for the process.
One creates constant tension. The other creates constant growth. Do the work. Detach from the result. Say it again. Do the work. Detach from the result. You see, attachment is emotional control turned inside out. It's the illusion that you can control everything. The timeline, the reaction, the reward. But that illusion drains your energy, kills your focus, and destroys your peace. You start living for the future instead of performing in the present. You start watching the scoreboard instead of playing the game. And that's when your discipline dies. Because you can't be fully committed to the process when you're obsessed with the result. That's the trap. That's where people lose their edge. You don't control the outcome. You control your input. You control your effort. You control your response. That's all. Everything else, the timing, the praise, the recognition, that's not your job. Your job is to show up. Your job is to do the work. Your job is to keep doing it even when no one's watching. That's real discipline. That's quiet strength. Let me make this clear. Detachment isn't laziness. It's not apathy. It's not about not caring. Detachment is power under control. It's the ability to stay focused on what matters without being enslaved by what doesn't. It's not about giving up the goal. It's about giving up the anxiety tied to it. Because when you're attached, you start forcing things. You start chasing instead of creating. You start worrying instead of working. And worry never built anything worth having. I've seen this pattern everywhere, in athletes, in entrepreneurs, in relationships. They start strong, focused, intentional. Then they get attached to results. They check the scale every day instead of sticking to the routine. They watch analytics instead of improving the content. They chase the response instead of mastering the delivery. And then they burn out. Why? Because attachment steals energy. You lose your fire when your focus shifts from growth to gratification. That's the hard truth. Let me give you something practical. When you catch yourself worrying about the result, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing the work? Am I being consistent? Am I controlling what I can control? If the answer is yes, then let it go. Because that's the win. The process is the proof. You don't need the world to validate you when your discipline already has. You don't need guarantees when your consistency speaks for itself. Every rep matters. Every day matters. Every quiet, unseen effort matters. Because mastery doesn't happen at the finish line. It happens in the grind. Listen carefully, this is important. Your attachment to outcomes is often disguised as ambition. You say, I just want it bad. But what you really mean is, I'm scared I won't get it. That's fear. That's insecurity pretending to be drive. True ambition isn't fear-driven. It's process-driven. It's not about needing to win. It's about needing to grow. It's not about proving something to others. It's about proving something to yourself, that you can stay steady no matter what the result is. You don't need their permission. You don't need their applause. You don't need their confirmation. You just need discipline. That's the secret most people never learn, because discipline outlasts motivation. Process outlasts passion. Detachment outlasts emotion. Here's how you live it. When you start a project, don't ask, will this succeed? Ask,
can I give my best to this every day? When you chase a goal, don't ask, what if it fails? Ask, can I face the work without needing the reward? When you walk into a challenge, don't ask, what if they don't notice? Ask, can I stay consistent even if no one claps? Because that's where mastery is born. Discipline in silence. Faith without validation. Work without attachment. That's the mindset that wins long term. The more you detach, the freer you become. You start sleeping better. You start thinking clearer. You stop overreacting to short-term fluctuations because you've anchored yourself in process, not outcome. You've stopped measuring success by how fast it happens and started measuring it by how deeply you've grown. That's real progress. That's maturity. And ironically, that's when the results start showing up. Because life rewards focus, not desperation. It rewards patience, not panic. It rewards those who do the work and walk away without begging for proof. That's how you win without chasing. So I'll tell you again, and I want you to burn this into your mind. Do the work, detach from the result. That's your mantra. That's your armor. That's your path to peace. Every day you'll be tempted to check the mirror, the metrics, the praise. Don't. Those are distractions. Stay grounded in the process. Keep your eyes on the work. Keep your emotions steady. Because discipline doesn't ask for validation. Discipline just shows up. Discipline just works. And remember, the ones who win in the end aren't the ones who chased outcomes. They're the ones who learned to build quietly, to work without needing approval, to persist without needing results right now. Because detachment is freedom, and freedom is power. You have a choice: live for the outcome or live for the process. One keeps you anxious. The other makes you unstoppable. Do the work. Detach from the result. That's your peace. That's your power. That's your mastery. Now that you have learned to detach from the outcome, to stop living for validation and start living for growth, it's time to talk about what fuels your discipline day after day. You've learned to let go. Now, you'll learn to build consistency.
Chapter 8. Emotional minimalism. Less reaction, more direction. You're carrying too much. Too many reactions, too many feelings about everything and everyone. Too many opinions. Too many emotional debts you didn't even agree to pay. It's time to simplify. It's time to strip away the noise. It's time to practice emotional minimalism. Because every emotion costs energy, and every unnecessary reaction drains focus. You can't build peace in a mind that's constantly overstimulated. You can't be powerful if you're emotionally cluttered. You have to clean your inner world. You have to declutter your emotional space. Less reaction, more direction. That's the key. Emotional minimalism is the art of choosing what deserves your energy and letting go of everything that doesn't. It's not coldness. It's not indifference. It's precision. You stop being emotionally everywhere and start being emotionally intentional. You stop reacting to every vibration around you and start directing your emotional investment where it matters. Because when your emotions are scattered, your energy is weak. When your emotions are focused, your energy is powerful. You have a choice. You can spend your energy reacting to every situation, or you can save it for what moves your life forward. Simplify your emotions. Strengthen your focus. Look at your day. Count how many times you react to things that don't deserve you. Someone cuts you off in traffic, you rage. Someone disagrees online, you argue. Someone ignores your message, you overthink. Every reaction takes a piece of your peace, and you can't afford that anymore. You're trying to build something bigger. You're trying to evolve. You're trying to master yourself. That means you can't keep spending emotional energy like it's free. You have to budget it like it's gold, because it is gold. Your emotional energy is the currency of your life, and emotional minimalism is how you stop wasting it. Let me tell you what emotional minimalism really means in practice. It means you stop explaining yourself to people who don't listen. It means you stop trying to convince people to see your value. It means you stop fighting every argument that doesn't change your direction. It means you stop attending every emotional war you're invited to. Not every situation deserves your energy. Not every emotion deserves a stage. Not every feeling deserves a reaction. That's maturity. That's discipline. Because emotional control isn't about feeling nothing. It's about feeling less of what doesn't matter. Simplify your emotions. Strengthen your focus. Here's the truth. Your emotions are powerful tools, but undisciplined emotions become weapons of self-destruction. When you overreact, you lose focus. When you take everything personally, you lose peace. When you chase validation, you lose control. You have been giving your emotional power to people who didn't earn it. You have been giving your attention to problems that don't deserve it. And then you wonder why you feel drained, why you feel scattered, why you feel stuck. It's not because you lack motivation. It's because you lack emotional simplicity. You're trying to be everything to everyone, and you're becoming nothing to yourself. So here's what I want you to do. Every time something triggers you, stop. Ask yourself, does this deserve my energy? Ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a month, a year? If not, let it go. Walk away in silence. That's not weakness, that's strategy. Because silence is direction. Detachment is focus. Emotional minimalism is freedom. You don't need to be involved in everything. You don't need to respond to everyone. You don't need to have an opinion on every noise around you. You need to protect your mind. You need to guard your calm. That's your foundation. Simplify your emotions. Strengthen your focus. Think of your emotions like tabs on a browser. The more tabs you keep open, the slower everything runs. You wonder why your peace lags? You've got too many emotional tabs open. Every argument, every disappointment, every memory you refuse to close, they're all running in the background, draining your mental battery. Close the tabs. Close the loops. Simplify your emotions. Focus on one tab at a time, the one that matters right now. That's how you regain speed. That's how you regain clarity. That's how you regain power. This world rewards emotional excess. It rewards loudness. It rewards outrage. It rewards overreaction. But you're not here to fit into that world. You're here to rise above it. You're here to be calm when others are chaotic. You're here to be still when others are unstable. You're here to be strategic when others are emotional. That's leadership. That's mastery. Because true power doesn't shout, it directs. True power doesn't react, it chooses. True power doesn't scatter, it focuses. That's what emotional minimalism gives you. It gives you direction. You don't need to be emotionally available to everything. You don't need to attend every conversation. You don't need to carry every emotion you feel. You have permission to feel less. You have permission to choose calm. You have permission to simplify.
Because it's not about being heartless. It's about being disciplined with your heart. It's not about feeling nothing. It's about feeling intentionally. That's the difference between noise and signal, between chaos and control. Simplify your emotions, strengthen your focus. Here's the daily practice. Every morning, ask yourself 3 questions. What deserves my emotional energy today? What distractions will I ignore? How will I protect my peace? That's your minimalist mindset. That's your emotional strategy. You're not reacting, you're directing. You're not chasing peace, you're choosing it. And the more you simplify, the stronger you become. Because emotional excess is noise, and noise weakens discipline. Minimalism is clarity, and clarity strengthens focus. That's the shift. That's the transformation. Simplify your emotions, strengthen your focus. You have a choice. You can keep living in emotional chaos, reacting, overthinking, explaining, defending, or you can start simplifying, cutting out the noise, reclaiming your focus, and moving with quiet direction. The first life drains you. The second one builds you. And that's the difference between exhaustion and mastery. Choose simplicity. Choose focus. Choose power. Because emotional minimalism isn't about doing less. It's about doing only what matters. You've learned how to declutter your emotional life, how to move with less reaction and more direction. Now it's time to take that same discipline and apply it to your mental environment. You've simplified your emotions. Next, you'll sharpen your mind.
Chapter 9. The Discipline of Emotional Consistency. Be the same under pressure. Real power is emotional consistency, not passion, not intensity, consistency. When you're consistent, people can trust you. When you're consistent, your mind doesn't betray you. When you're consistent, chaos has no control over you. Be the same under pressure. That's the mark of someone who's mastered themselves. Anyone can be calm when life is easy. Anyone can smile when everything goes their way. But when life hits, when stress comes, when things fall apart, that's where you see the truth. That's where emotional discipline is tested. That's where character is proven. Most people are emotional weather, unstable, shifting, reactive. One minute they're inspired, the next they're defeated. One day they're committed, the next they're quitting. They rise and fall with every mood, every headline, every opinion. You can't lead that way. You can't grow that way. You can't win that way. Because inconsistency kills credibility, and emotional instability destroys peace. Be the same under pressure. Emotional consistency means this: you respond with stability no matter what happens around you. You win, you stay grounded. You lose, you stay grounded. You're praised, you stay grounded. You're criticized, you stay grounded. That's the standard. It's not about pretending to be numb. It's not about suppressing feelings. It's about mastering the response. You can feel deeply and still remain centered. You can hurt and still stay composed. You can be under pressure and still move with purpose. That's the difference between amateurs and professionals. The amateur reacts. The professional responds. The amateur rides emotional highs and lows. The professional moves steady, deliberate, predictable. Because predictability is power. Be the same under pressure. Let me be clear, you don't get emotional consistency from motivation. You get it from discipline. Motivation gives you energy. Discipline gives you control. And control, real control, is emotional predictability. You have to train it like a muscle. You have to build it through repetition. Every time you choose calm over chaos, you get stronger. Every time you hold your composure, instead of exploding, you level up. Every time you act, instead of react, you separate yourself from the emotional crowd. That's the process. That's the work. It's not about being robotic. It's about being reliable. Because people respect consistency. They trust calm. They follow stability. And they can't be influenced by someone who can't even influence their own emotions. Here's the reality. Being unstable emotions make you forget who you are. You can have a clear plan in the morning and throw it away by lunch because something upset you. You can have a great goal and abandon it after one disappointment. You can build momentum and lose it after one rejection because you let your mood run your mission. That's what most people do. They let feelings dictate their direction. They let emotions override principles. But you're different. You're learning to anchor your behavior to discipline, not mood. You still feel the emotion, but you don't become it. You still face pressure, but you don't fold to it. You still experience doubt, but you move anyway. That's emotional consistency. That's the real flex. Be the same under pressure. Here's how you train it. Step 1, awareness. You can't control what you don't notice. So when emotion rises, frustration, anger, fear, pride, notice it. Name it. Don't suppress it, just observe it. That awareness creates space. Step 2, delay. Don't act in the heat of emotion. Wait, let the wave pass. Every second you delay reaction, you strengthen control. Step 3, respond from principle, not pressure. Ask yourself, what would the strongest version of me do here? Then do that, even if you don't feel like it. That's the key. Consistency comes from identity. You act according to who you've decided to be, not how you happen to feel. That's maturity. That's leadership. Understand this. Your emotions are messengers, not masters. They can inform you, but they can't direct you. You can feel stress without becoming chaos. You can feel fear without becoming paralyzed. You can feel anger without becoming destructive. That's what emotional consistency looks like. That's power under control. Because anyone can be passionate when it's easy. Few can stay composed when it's hard. And the world gives its rewards to the few. Here's a truth people avoid. Being emotionally inconsistent is selfish. Because when you're unpredictable, everyone around you has to walk on eggshells. They can't trust your reactions. They can't depend on your energy. They can't build with you because they never know who they'll get that day. You become emotionally expensive to be around. But when you're consistent, when you bring the same grounded energy everywhere, you create safety. You create stability. You create influence. Because people follow calm. They follow reliability. They follow discipline. Be the same under pressure. Here's how emotional consistency feels on the inside. Stillness, clarity, command. You stop riding emotional waves, you start steering them. You stop losing time over reactions, you start using that time for direction. And over time, that creates something powerful, self-trust. You start to trust yourself to handle anything. You start to believe that no matter what happens, you'll remain solid. That's confidence that can't be faked. That's strength that can't be shaken. You become unflappable, predictable, dangerously steady. That's emotional discipline at its peak. When the pressure rises, most people collapse. They get emotional. They overthink. They panic. They run. But not you. You breathe. You think. You act. Same pace, same tone, same control.
That's what separates leaders from followers. That's what separates masters from amateurs. That's what separates chaos from composure. Because at the end of the day, storms are temporary, but your stability must be permanent. Be the same under pressure. You have a choice. You can keep being emotional weather, rising and falling with every gust of circumstance, or you can become the steady ground beneath it, calm, unshaken, unbreakable. That's the discipline of emotional consistency. That's the foundation of true control. You've learned to be still under pressure. Now it's time to learn how to turn that stillness into action. You've mastered composure. Next, you'll master momentum.
Chapter 10. The detached mind is unstoppable. Nothing moves me. I move everything. Freedom doesn't come from money. It doesn't come from status. It doesn't come from control over others. It comes from control over yourself. When you reach a level of emotional detachment where nothing external dictates your internal state, you become unstoppable. You don't chase, you don't beg, you don't argue. You lead with calm, calculated precision. That's power. That's what people feel but can't describe when they sense real strength in someone. Because detachment is not coldness, it's command. It's owning your mind so fully that nothing owns you. Nothing moves me. I move everything. Let's be honest, most people are slaves, not to systems or other people, but to their own emotions. They wake up already reacting to texts, to notifications, to opinions, to fears. Every thought pulls them, every emotion controls them. They're pushed around by the world like a leaf in the wind. They think they're making choices, but they're not. They're just reacting to everything around them. That's not freedom, that's dependency. Freedom begins when you stop being emotionally available to everything that doesn't serve your purpose. You don't need to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't need to answer every insult. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. You just stay still, unmoved, clear. Nothing moves me. I move everything. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start caring intelligently. You stop wasting energy on what doesn't change outcomes. You stop investing emotion into what doesn't deserve it. You stop reacting and start responding with intention. That's the difference between chaos and command. When you're detached, you don't run from problems, you study them. You don't get offended by people, you observe them. You don't panic when things go wrong, you adapt. You don't need life to be easy, you just need to remain steady. That's detachment in motion. That's why the detached mind wins in every environment, because everyone else is emotional. Everyone else is reacting. Everyone else is draining their own energy, trying to control what can't be controlled. You, on the other hand, you conserve energy, you conserve focus, you conserve power. Nothing moves me. I move everything. Let me make this practical. Here's how detachment works in the real world. Someone insults you? You don't defend yourself emotionally. You assess whether their words have any truth. If they don't, you move on. If they do, you make the adjustment. No emotion wasted, no validation needed. That's detachment. You lose an opportunity. You don't spiral. You ask what you can learn, what you can improve, what you can control next time. You stay on the mission. No dramatics, no pity. That's detachment.
It's not about arrogance. It's about alignment. It's about acting from principle instead of panic, responding from logic instead of emotion. That's the discipline of the detached mind. You have to understand, emotional detachment is not weakness. It's strength under full control. It's the pilot flying through turbulence, the general planning in silence, the surgeon operating under pressure. Detached, focused, steady. That's how you win consistently, because consistency demands neutrality. You can't build momentum if every setback breaks your spirit. You can't build clarity if every opinion clouds your vision. You can't build peace if every disruption steals your energy. The detached mind doesn't fight emotion, it masters it. It doesn't avoid pain, it absorbs the lesson and moves forward. It doesn't chase peace, it creates it from within. Nothing moves me, I move everything. Let's talk about what this looks like inside. Internally, detachment feels like still water. Still, but deep. Calm, but aware. Thoughts rise. You see them. Emotions appear. You feel them, but you don't drown in them. You maintain the space between you and your reactions. That's where real control lives, in the space between what happens and how you respond. You build that space through discipline, through the pause, through awareness, through refusing to get emotionally hijacked by everything around you. Every time you practice that, you build inner stability. And here's the truth. Stability is rare. That's why it's respected. People can sense it. They can feel it in your tone. They can see it in your eyes. They can sense it in your energy. It's the quiet confidence that doesn't need to prove anything. The presence that doesn't need attention. That's the energy of detachment. Here's the secret. When you stop chasing control of others, you gain total control of yourself. When you stop demanding certainty from the world, you find certainty within. When you stop expecting everyone to act right, you start acting right regardless of them. That's freedom. And freedom is the highest form of strength. Because the detached mind can't be manipulated. It can't be baited. It can't be broken. It operates from principle, not approval, from clarity, not emotion, from direction, not reaction. Nothing moves me, I move everything. I want you to picture something. You're standing in the middle of chaos, noise, stress, pressure, judgment. People are arguing, things are falling apart, but you are still. You're not cold, you're not numb, you're just centered. Your breathing is slow, your thoughts are clear, your response is deliberate. That's not suppression, that's strength. Because the detached mind doesn't fight emotion, it becomes the eye of the storm. Still, silent, commanding. And that calm pulls everything into order. That's the paradox of detachment. When you stop trying to control the world, you start influencing it effortlessly. Because presence is louder than reaction. Stillness is more powerful than noise. Nothing moves me, I move everything. You have a choice. You can stay reactive, emotional, and easily thrown off course, or you can train yourself to remain calm, unshaken, and precise. You can keep giving your power to everything around you, or you can reclaim it and decide that nothing outside you determines your peace inside. That's the discipline. That's the work. That's the freedom. When your peace no longer depends on anyone else, you become untouchable. When your emotions no longer run your behavior, you become unbreakable. When your mind stays detached from outcomes and anchored in purpose, you become unstoppable. Because detachment isn't about doing less. It's about doing what matters with total control. Nothing moves me. I move everything. You have reached the level where chaos no longer dictates your state. You have learned that silence, pause, and discipline create power. Now it's time to go deeper, to apply that control in every part of your life. Because the detached mind is the foundation. But what comes next? Execution, precision, purpose.
Conclusion. Move with precision. Act without emotion. Detachment is not escape. It's mastery. It's the moment you stop being reactive and start being strategic. You no longer need to respond to insults. You no longer need to prove your worth. You no longer chase approval. You become the calm in the storm, not the storm itself. Every pause is a victory. Every silence is strength. Every time you choose observation over reaction, you rise above chaos. From now on, when life tests you, do one thing. Observe first. When you feel provoked, breathe once. When you want to respond, pause twice. Detachment is your power. Detachment is your discipline. Detachment is your freedom. So the next time the world demands your reaction, don't give it. Give it your stillness. Give it your control. Give it your mastery.